Komodo dragons are the largest, heaviest lizards in the world, and one of the few with a venomous bite. They rely heavily on their sense of smell, using their forked tongues to sample the air. The muscles of the Komodo's jaws and throat allow it to swallow huge chunks of meat with astonishing rapidity. If you are interested in animals, let's know more about them. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications bell, and like. Several movable joints, such as the intramandibular hinge, opens the lower jaw unusually wide. The stomach expands easily, enabling an adult to consume up to 80% of its own body weight in a single meal, which most likely explains some exaggerated claims for immense weights in captured individuals. When threatened, Komodos can throw up the contents of their stomachs to lessen their weight in order to flee. Although males tend to grow larger and bulkier than females, no obvious morphological differences mark the sexes. One subtle clue does exist, a slight difference in the arrangement of scales just in front of the cloaca. Sexing Komodos remains a challenge for human researchers, the dragons themselves appear to have little trouble figuring out who is who. The Komodo dragon is the largest living lizard in the world. These wild dragons typically weigh about 154 pounds, 70 kilograms, but the largest verified specimen reached a length of 10.3 feet, 3.13 meters, and weighed 366 pounds, 166 kilograms. Males tend to grow larger and bulkier than females. Komodo dragons are limited to a few Indonesian islands of the Lesser Sunda group, including 𝐗-𝐌𝐢𝐧𝐮𝐭𝐞, Padaran Flores, and of course the island of Komodo, the largest at 22 miles, 35 kilometers, long. They have not been seen on the island of Padar since the 1970s. They live in tropical savanna forests, but range widely over the islands, from beach to ridge top. Komodo dragons eat almost any kind of meat, scavenging for carcasses or stalking animals that range in size from small rodents to large water buffalo. Young feed primarily on small lizards and insects, as well as snakes and birds. If they live to be 5 years old, they move on to larger prey, such as rodents, monkeys, goats, wild boars, and deer, the most popular meal. These reptiles are tertiary predators at the top of their food chain, and are also cannibalistic. Although the Komodo dragon can briefly reach speeds of 10 to 13 miles per hour, 16 to 20 kilometers per hour, its hunting strategy is based on stealth and power. It can spend hours in one spot along a game trail, waiting for a deer or other sizable and nutritious prey to cross its path before launching an attack. Most of the monitor's attempts at bringing down prey are unsuccessful. However, if it is able to bite its prey, bacteria and venom in its saliva will kill the prey within a few days after the animal dies, which can take up to 4 days. The Komodo uses its powerful sense of smell to locate the body. A kill is often shared between many Komodo dragons. Monitors can see objects as far away as 985 feet, 300 meters, so vision does play a role in hunting, especially as their eyes are better at picking up movement than at discerning stationary objects. Their retinas possess only cones, so they may be able to distinguish color but have poor vision in dim light. They have a much smaller hearing range than humans and, as a result, cannot hear sounds like low-pitched voices or high-pitched screams. The Komodo dragon's sense of smell is its primary food detector. It uses its long, yellow, forked tongue to sample the air. It then moves the forked tip of its tongue to the roof of its mouth, where it makes contact with the Jacobson's organs. These chemical analyzers smell prey, such as a deer, by recognizing airborne molecules. If the concentration of molecules present on the left tip of the tongue is greater than that sample from the right, the Komodo dragon knows that the deer is approaching from the left. This system, along with an undulatory walk, in which the head swings from side to side, helps the dragon sense the existence and direction of food. At times, these reptiles can smell carrion or rotting flesh up to 2.5 miles, 4 kilometers, away. This lizard's large, curved and serrated teeth are its deadliest weapon, tearing flesh with efficiency. The tooth serrations hold bits of meat from its most recent meal, and this protein-rich residue supports large numbers of bacteria. Some 50 different bacterial strains, at least 7 of which are highly septic, have been found in the saliva. Researchers have also documented a venom gland in the dragon's lower jaw. In addition to the harmful bacteria, the venom prevents the blood from clotting, which causes massive blood loss and induces shock. The Komodo's bite may be deadly, but not to another Komodo dragon. Those wounded while sparring with each other appear to be unaffected by the bacteria and venom. Scientists are searching for antibodies in Komodo dragon blood that may be responsible. The lizard's throat and neck muscles allow it to rapidly swallow huge chunks of meat. Several movable joints, such as the intramandibular hinge, open its lower jaw unusually wide. The dragon's stomach also easily expands, enabling an adult to consume up to 80% of its own body weight in a single meal. When threatened, Komodo dragons can throw up the contents of their stomachs to lessen their weight in order to flee. Komodo dragons are efficient eaters, leaving behind only about 12% of their prey. They eat bones, hooves and sections of hide, as well as intestines, after swinging them to dislodge their contents. At the Smithsonian's National Zoo, the Komodo dragons eat rodents, chicks, rabbits, and occasionally fish and carcass meals of beef. Because large Komodos cannibalize young ones, the young often roll in fecal material, thereby assuming a scent that the large dragons are programmed to avoid. Young dragons also undergo rituals of appeasement, with the smaller lizards pacing around a feeding circle in a stately ritualized walk. Their tail is stuck straight out and they throw their body from side to side with exaggerated convulsions. Komodo dragons are the only lizards that have killed and eaten humans. They are capable of parthenogenesis, a method of reproduction where the female is capable of laying eggs without outside fertilization by a male. Any eggs that hatch as a result produce only male offspring. Komodo dragons have 60 razor-sharp teeth up to 1 inch (2.5 centimeters) long. Lost or damaged teeth are constantly replaced. Dragons can go through 4 or 5 sets of teeth in their lifetime. Their teeth allow dragons to tear off large chunks of flesh which they swallow whole. Their sharp claws are used to attack and hold prey. Many lizards eat plants, but Komodo dragons are carnivores and mainly eat carrion, but also ambush large prey. They use a stealthy approach when hunting prey, using their long claws and sharp teeth to attack the unwary animal as it passes by. If the prey does not die from the initial attack, the dragon follows the injured animal until it dies due to blood loss or infection. Komodo dragon saliva contains 50 different strains of toxic bacteria that cause deadly infections in the prey animal. Attracted by the smell, several dragons converge on dead or decaying animals. The largest male dragons eat first, followed by smaller males and females, and finally by the juvenile dragons that descend from the safety of the trees to eat whatever remains. During the breeding season, males compete for breeding rights to receptive females. The dragons wrestle in an upright position using their tails as props. The successful male stimulates the female by chin rubbing and tongue flicks to the head and shoulders before mating. After mating, the male stays near the female for several days to prevent other males from mating with her. The female deposits up to 30 eggs in a depression and buries them. The eggs hatch in 8 to 9 months. Newly hatched Komodo dragons receive no parental care and in fact immediately climb nearby trees to escape falling prey to adult dragons or other predators. The hatchlings are about 14.8 inches (37 centimeters) long. The young dragons spend their first 3 or 4 years in the trees until they reach about 4 feet (1.2 meters) in length. Komodo dragons are mature at about 5 years of age. Komodo dragons can live over 50 years. Between 1996 and 2021, the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, IUCN, listed the Komodo dragon as a vulnerable species. Although the lizard's population included fewer than 1,400 adults, ecologists noted that it was stable and at low risk from hunting and other threats. However, in 2021 the IUCN decided to list the Komodo dragon as an endangered species because climate models suggested that between 30 and 70% of the species' habitat would be lost by 2040 to increases in sea level. If you are interested in animals, stay tuned.